Well, hello. Today's the 2005 Michael Bay movie, The Island. In 2019, Lincoln 6 Echo is part of a well regulated community after some devastating environmental catastrophe. All the residents at this compound hope to win the lottery to get to the island, the last place on Earth that is free of contamination. He starts to question the whole setup and sneaks out to investigate. He discovers that all the lottery winners are killed for their organs. He rescues a woman named Jordan 2 Delta who is about to go to the island, and they escape the compound. They make it to a bar where they meet a worker at the compound who befriended Lincoln. This helpful worker explains to the two of them the true purpose of the island and helps them to escape. Unfortunately, he is killed by mercenaries sent to retrieve them. They have a chase through Los Angeles to escape the mercenaries. They reach the home of Tom Lincoln, the man who Lincoln was cloned for. Tom, though, betrays the two, but is killed when Lincoln convinces the mercenaries the real Tom is the clone. He assumes the real Tom's life and finds out that many clones will be killed because they were like him, developing the memories of their donors. Lincoln and Jordan go back to the compound and free all the clones. So this 2005 movie, directed by Michael Bay, DreamWorks, starring Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, Sean Bean, Bay's favorite Steve Buscemi. Yep, it's a pretty enjoyable action movie. It was mostly, I guess, the city scenes were filmed in Detroit, of all places, and some scenes in Nevada. And it's kind of one of your typical, far future movies that are now in the past. So, there's stuff like, a hover train and some flying motorcycles and that, which I don't believe we still have even after 2019. And it was considered, it on $124 million budget, it only made $162 million, so it was considered a bomb. It didn't do well. A lot of that they blamed on marketing and that. And one thing I have to talk about this movie, I think, very much, is that it was very much a ripoff of the movie Parts the Clonus Horror that was done in 1979. That movie was a very cheap movie done in Canada, and most people know of it, like I do, from Mystery Science Theater 3000. They did a really great riff on that movie. But as you watch this, you realize that they didn't even really try to hide what they were basically stealing. The whole basic plot is, it is that movie. I mean, it has a lot better actors, a big higher budget, a lot of cool special effects and that. But it's still, it's basically a ripoff. And, when I looked at this, I seen that, one of the writers was Alex Kurtzman, who is a absolute no talent asshat. Don't know why he ever has any type of job. And I guess he's known to steal from other people. He was one of the two writers with Roberto Orci, who's someone also kind of a bit of a hack if you look at what he did. And I guess they rewrote the original script by some other guy who is kind of unknown. Now, I can't prove anything who was the one who decided to rip off parts of the Clonus horror. Was it the original screenwriter or Kurtzman or something? Personally, I think it was Kurtzman because he's just a complete utter clown, and it has absolutely no talent. What he's done to Star Trek is just an abomination. But anyway, also they did get sued by the original filmmakers of parts of the Clonus horror, and they tried to get it dismissed, and the judge said no, there's some valid concerns about this, and they settled for an undisclosed $7 million figure. So at least there was some justice done, and the original writers, producers, whatever, got a nice little several million probably in pay. So that's kind of good. I mean, this is kind of a fun movie. I remember watching it actually in the theaters. It's it's typical Michael Bay. I think that's he's pretty good at getting some really good action films with a lot of budget. A lot of car chases and gunfights, explosions, and the movie does work well. I mean, who's to say that they're not really growing clones that are rich and powerful somewhere? That actually is quite the original writers of the parts of the Clonus were very far ahead with their little cheap Canadian movie. And yeah, so it's still an enjoyable movie, and I think it's fun. It's a bit long, about 136 minutes or something, which is over 2 hours. But you enjoy it. It goes along good. Has Scarlett Johansson, who's just starting out. She was very young, probably like 19 or something. And Ewan McGregor does a great job. He gets to play two parts. The real Tom and his clone, and the real one gets to do the Scottish accent. And yeah, it's it's a good movie. I think it's solid. If you want something good to watch, I would recommend it. So, if you stuck with me this long, I thank you. You're a unique individual.